Did you know that you have access to pretty much all the best AI tools for free, all in one place? Well, let me teach you how to use Google AI Studios now. I'm Sam from AI Everyday, and let's get right into this tutorial. If you haven't already heard about it, Google AI Studios is Google's new AI workspace. While they do have Gemini, their competition to things like ChatGPT and Grok, Google AI Studios is like nothing else. So in this video, I'm going to cover the real-time streaming features, the video generation, workflow tips, and give you lots of live demos so you know how to use this product perfectly. Without further ado, let's figure out how to use this program together. So, as you can see here, we have our regular prompt box, just like most other AIs. But we're not given a deep search, image gen, any features like that. Instead, we've got a run settings available here on the right side. So here you can see we can choose in between the model, whether we have 2.5, 2, 1.5, etc. And within the 2, we've got the image generation model, which is pretty awesome, flashlight. And within 2.5, we've got the preview model and their newest preview model as of April 17th. And now also you can see when you hover over each individual model, it tells you the specifics of its input costs, output costs, what it's best for, use cases, etc. They give you the most amount of information out of any other LLM. Now after you've selected the model, you can select the output format. Obviously, since we're on the image generation model, we can only select images and text, but if I choose another model here, you can see that actually disappears. Now I would like to switch it to just text, so a lot of you are probably thinking temperature, what does that mean? Is my prompt going to come out too hot, too cold? No. So basically the AI can hallucinate. That means it's going to make something up and it's not going to listen to your prompt. And the temperature of that is going to determine the likelihood. So the lower your temperature, say it's something down like this, 0 or even 0.8, the lower it is, the less likely it is to hallucinate anything. But if you crank it all the way up to 2, that gives the AI some more room for creativity, saying, yeah, you want it to make some things up. Alright, and that's all for that setting there. So let's move on. So as you can see, we have in tools section for anything other than the image gen models, we have structured output, code execution, function calling, grounding with Google search. So these features are kind of like what you're given on Grok and OpenAI, but even more advanced. So we've got the structured output. That basically, you can get a perfectly tailored output every single time. So it's like you're going to give it output instructions. So within the structured output section here, if we go to edit, we can give it a perfect structure. So say we want this sort of formatting or this sort of formatting. We need a header, paragraph, etc. Or say we're doing code execution and we need the code to be structured perfectly for this website or this website. This gives us a lot of flexibility for making sure everything comes out structured how we want. Now moving on to code execution. This actually gives it the ability to execute code within the chat. Not only is it able to spin up code, type it for you, but it can execute that and call functions, activate things, etc. This makes Google AI Studios much more like an agent than a regular LLM. Now this ties into function calling as well. So if you've set up past functions, which Google AI Studios has the ability to do, then you can call those functions in. So say you've built a file search function or a call function, etc. You can have those all built into Google AI Studios and then ask your chat to call those functions. And the same with the structured output section. There's an edit section here. You can input all of your code and your API data, whatever you need to call those functions. So pretty awesome. And last but definitely not least, we've got grounding with Google search. And now last but definitely not least, we've got grounding with Google search. This is basically like the search feature, on ChatGPT and Grok, but it's a little bit different. So instead of actually going and searching the web, it grounds the answer to your prompt with search. So it will go and revise its answer and make sure that it's correct with Google search data. Now let's move on to those advanced settings. Now these you won't have to touch too often, but they can definitely be helpful, especially if you're generating lots of long text. Let me tell you what I mean by that right now. So we'll go to the safety settings last. Those are pretty basic, but adding a stop sequence. Now what does this mean and why is it important? So sometimes you've just got these quick, nice outputs and they keep your token counts nice and low. But other times, say you're inputting a ton of data or it's just giving you a really long output, you want to make sure you can cap your token count so you don't go above and beyond. So a stop sequence paired with the output length setting is going to help that a lot. Adding a stop sequence is great for running things like repetitive code or story writing. You can say, once you've hit this line, end process. Say the end in a story, like the end, or a certain line in your code. Every time it hits that, it's going to end the process, so then it doesn't continue on to to unnecessary steps. And then the same with the output length. Say you don't want it going over 100 characters or so many tokens. You just set it at that cap, and you're not going to waste any more tokens. So say we set it to 1,000 tokens. After it hits 1,000 tokens, it's going to cut itself off. And now we have the top P setting. This is very similar to temperature, but a lot more useful in things like writing instead of image generation. So the lower you set this value, the less creativity it's going to have, and it's going to be very strict with its wording. But the higher the top P value, the more words it can pull from and try and determine what will be the next best suited word in that sentence. So those are all the basic settings for chat in Google AI Studios. Let me run a couple prompts just so you guys know what you're doing, and then let's move on to some real-time streaming. But hitting enter actually just sends you to the next line. You've got to hit Control Enter to actually send your prompt. It says that right down here, but just a quick tip. So I asked it, I said, wow, and look at the detail here. I asked it to give me some key talking points to cover when I'm covering Google AI Studios. And so it gives me all of this. And now, say, I'm thinking this is way too long. Let's ask it the same prompt, but let's cap it at, I don't know, say I only want 200 tokens used here. So let's try again. Yep, perfect. So 200 tokens, nice and easy to read, and it caps it automatically for me. Now let's turn the temperature rate up and let's see what it gives us. See if it gives us anything different. We'll give it 2,000 tokens. Wow, you can see with the temperature cranked up, it actually gave quite a bit more details as well. Curious to see what's different. You can see here a lot of the actual script points, like the lines it's giving me, are a little more creative in this other one. Well, that's awesome. Okay, now that we've covered all the basic settings for a chat within Google AI Studios, let's move on to the real important stuff. Real-time streaming. There's no other AI app that offers this. This is unique and super powerful. So in Google AI Studio's real-time streaming feature, you're able to activate your webcam, you're able to stream your screen, talk to it, use your phone camera, whatever you want. So let me show you some awesome examples of this right now. So you're able to use this for so many things. People are still coming up with crazy use cases all the time. Let me give you some crazy examples. So say you've got Blender open and you just can't figure out how to move or model a shape. Well, if you stream that over to Google AI Studios and then ask it what to do, it's not only going to tell you, but if you hook it up with some direct APIs, you can get it to do it for you. Pretty crazy. Now say you're having some glitches in Adobe Premiere or any of your video games. Why not stream it over to Google AI Studios and see how it can help? I'm telling you guys, this is a game changer. It is very crazy. Let me show you some use cases now. So I'm just going to mute my mic in Google AI Studios real quick so they don't pick up what I'm saying. But as you can see, my Premiere window is right here and I am live streaming. So I will open up Premiere so you guys can see that as well. Well, first I'm going to turn my mic back on and I'm going to open up Premiere and we're going to ask it a question. How come my subtitles are in a different language? And how do I switch them back to English? No, these were generated automatically from the transcript. Yes, please tell me how to find that setting. Yes, I see it right here. I have multiple languages selected. No, that fixed the issue. I'm back to English now. Thank you. Okay, so that was just one quick example of real-time streaming in Google AI Studios. How crazy is that? And some of you might be thinking, oh, I don't have time to listen to it just play back.